Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. On this wonderful Monday. Here we are back again. I can tell you how happy I am to see you, and especially all of you that are replay viewers. We're glad to see you too. Anytime you come and see the show, we are so happy you're here. Well, we have a special guest for you today. This lovely lady, I can tell you, she is a phenomenal lady. And when I say phenomenal, we're talking about a powerhouse. This lady is right now, she is the COO of Kennesaw State University. She was originally, not originally, but she was just up to a few months ago, she was the athletic director for UC Riverside, which is my alma mater. But in addition to that, the lady is one of the kind of people that you just love to meet. When you meet her, you feel like you've known her forever and ever. I'd like to introduce you to my new best friend, Tamica Jones. Are you there, Tamica? Here we go.
I thought I'd have some coming out music or something, Mary.
I started to, but then I said, if I click around too much, we may not be on air.
No problem. No problem.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I know now you're no longer a Southern California resident. You have since moved to Hot Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hot Atlanta. My first day on the job, it was 23 degrees. So, I didn't have any attire to go out and get going with, but the team set me up for success. They gave me some Owls gear and now I'm rocking and rolling. It's about 60 degrees out right now, so it's feeling real good.
Oh my, it's 60 today?
That's right.
Yes, it really. Oh my goodness.
My mom said, just give it a little time and I'll be feeling like I was in SoCal before I know it.
Oh, has that happened?
It is happening. It is happening. It's been a great transition here. And of course, for those that don't know, Atlanta is my home. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, so it feels good to be back home. And Kennesaw State University is such a growing and thriving, transforming R2 institution that I'm just excited to be a part of.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know too, I do know about your professional background, but we don't know about like you. I know you said you were born and raised in Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay. And then you end up, I know you played basketball, but I know that's not the only sport you played. What made you go into this? I mean, this is an arena that you don't find a lot of women in. So it's dominated by men. So how did you find that this is something you wanted to do?
Well, I'll just be quite honest. It found me. I started out. I have a book entitled "A Ball and a Dream." It's a memoir about my life, autobiography. Everybody always asks me how, just like you did just now. And so about 10 years ago, I wrote that book to just share the journey. And really, it starts with my parents giving me a basketball and telling me the importance of education and how sport could be an access to education for college. And I got a full scholarship to originally I started out at Troy University. It was Troy State at the time. I always remind people of my start at Troy State because it gave me the foundation for who I am now in a lot of ways. And it always reminds me of where we've been as a people. And John Lewis, the late great Congressman Lewis, was from that area, could not be admitted into Troy State University during his time. But that was in the 70s. That was when I was born. But I went there in 93 and on a full scholarship and played basketball. And that's where it really began for me to understand, college sports, the business of sports. And also just being a woman leader. I watched my mom for years, be a corporate mom and woman and wife. And it all came together for me in college. And I had a great experience and I transferred from Troy State University. Did not know why I wanted to transfer because I was having a great athletic career, great academic, success. But the cultural experience was, the gap for me. And I, there was some loneliness and Didn't really find the sense of belonging as an 18 to 19-year-old at that time.
Mhm.
Um, Even though my teammates and I still know each other and fellowship a lot from Troy State, some of my
Okay.
best friends there, best girlfriends. Um, I transferred to Alabama A&M in Huntsville, Alabama. My family's from Alabama. My parents were from Alabama, so I kind of just gravitated there. But as you know, Alabama A&M is a historically Black college and
It is.
university. So
Mhm.
um, that gave me the confidence and the vision for myself that I thought was very important because I saw others like me everywhere doing great work.
Yep.
The people, the professors, the president took very much interest in me as a individual, not just as a athlete, but as a
Mhm.
ambassador for their program.
Oh,
And I graduated from A&M, got all of my life and myself together, and and then my coach at the time was an assistant coach. He got a head coach job and called me to be his graduate assistant, and that is the story of how I got into athletic administration. A
oh my
student
goodness.
athlete went into graduate assistantship work as a coach and worked my way fast and furiously to the athletic director seat.
Wow, that is, I mean, it's, you know what, it sounds like it was a path that was, it wasn't, it
It
may
was
not have
predestined.
been, that I was going to say that you didn't even know.
Not at all. I majored in business. I have a real entrepreneurial spirit. I like to be innovative, creative. It's hard for me to get boxed into places because my brain just kind of,
You don't have
rolls.
to
And
tell
so
me.
I'm trying to find ways to solve problems. I tell people all the time I do my best work under pressure. I like to solve problems. I like to set others up for success. And that's why I can sit in a role that I'm in right now as this chief operating officer at Kennesaw State, and relieve myself of an athletic director's role and responsibility because I love to support others and I love to leverage the resources we have, but to create high performing teams. And I've done that all my career, and this position has afforded me to do that again, and support another athletic director. So it's been a beautiful opportunity and transition.
Good for you. I know just as I'm listening to you, your energy, your love and passion is just, it comes out. Believe that you, I mean, because student athletes, that in itself, it has its own dynamics that
Yes,
people, and like you said, when you mentioned the business of sports,
that's right.
you didn't say
It's a big
sport.
business. It's
It's,
a big business. As a
oh,
Division I athletic administrator, it is a big business, and it's one of those things that really attracted me to Riverside 6 years ago. The president, Chancellor Kim Wilcox, he probably had been on the campus about a year and a half. He was building out his team, and he had a big, bold vision, and he understood the business of college athletics. And coming from Michigan State and some of the places that he had been, and Riverside, right there in the community, that athletic program on that campus is a part of the big business of college sports. Sometimes it gets overshadowed with the football institutions, which is where I am now. And I
right.
am really glad to be back at a football institution because it gives a different dynamic. It definitely is a different growth opportunity. It's a different athletic sustainability model. It is a different vibrancy around the pride and the community engagement. And so, but college athletics is big business. So with a business major degree that I
Right.
earned, it ties in perfectly.
Does. I'm telling you, it is, as you're, like I said, you were talking about, and I thought you was talking about the creativity, because you can get creative to a certain degree in those, on what you're doing with the student athletes and the different, their involvements and activities. And you probably get close to them and their families.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just not one dimensional. It's not just that one person.
And that's
It's,
what you love about the opportunity is that it's never the same day in college athletics. It's never the same day. I mean, my role here, I oversee the entire operation, and I escalate up to the athletic director things that he needs to know and absolutely needs to help guide and make the decisions on. But those things that I can handle and manage, I do across the board, 18 sports. And believe it or not, in this COVID era, we have all 18 sports competing right now. And so
Well, during
maybe
COVID?
during COVID in Georgia, we're rolling in Georgia. We're masked up. Look, mask save your life. I've been vaccinated. I've had my first dose here as a caretaker for my mom, who's over 65, and our campus is rolling. We have online and some in person classes, but our state has been really trying to stay safe, but understand the life has to continue to move and progressively, go forward. And so it is night and day of what I was experiencing in California. And UC Riverside right now, I'm so excited for them, and I'm rooting and cheering for them every day. I reach out to the coaches, and many of the student athletes follow me on social, and I tag them and DM them on the back end to let them know how proud I am for them continuing to persevere. Basketball was started when I was there. Our team was fortunate to get going with basketball in the Big West League there. And our men's team is the third in the league right now in our standings at Riverside. And I'm so incredibly proud of that, because when I inherited that basketball program 6 years ago, they were the bottom of the league.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. And we don't want to remember. We want to be talking about where they are now. And they're going into the Big West tournament in Vegas. And I expect them to do very well. And our women's team, they have been so competitive with a new coach as well. They are going to surprise some people, I'm sure. And so this month, I believe they started the other spring sports. The league, has started the other spring sports. So our baseball coach, we have a first time baseball coach, head coach. He just had his first win over UC Irvine this weekend. Golf is going, softball is going. So many good things happening at Riverside still that I'm very proud of. But being here at Kennesaw, they have been rolling, and the state of Georgia has been wide open, and I'm grateful to be able to see that they can do it safely, and really, really fortunate to be able to be a part of it.
That is wonderful. I'm sitting up here. Excuse me. I got choked a bit. I am so sorry for that. That's the first time that ever happened. Anyway, now I'm back. Okay. I'm sitting here in just amazement, because I know what the sports program was like at UCR before you arrived. And I'll just say it wasn't doing as well. Let me just say that you left it in such a state of excellence, that how you turned the program around. I know they're very sad to see you leave. Let me just say that. To see you, even though it's a good thing, I don't want to say anything bad,
sure,
but it is a loss for UCR.
I was sad. I was sad to make the transition. It was very bittersweet. We built the team again. Chancellor Kim Wilcox, I have to give him a lot of the credit, because he saw in me the passion, the purpose for that particular time, and it was for a season. And we were able to set the team up for great success. I'm looking forward to them continuing a strong vision forward. We laid a great foundation, and again, there was some good work before I got there. I just continued to plow the ground and turn it over as fast as I could, and I could have never done it alone. So to have the people on the team that I had, the coaches, the administrators, the staff, and the 5-6 years of 350 student athletes that came through that program during my time, it's definitely a place that I will always treasure and never forget, and look forward to visiting the program, in many years to come. So
please do.
Thank you.
And when you do come back, you have to come and visit, because I'm only a mile and a half away from there. You see,
yes.
Without a doubt. Well, I know too, you talked about the business of athletics, that people, I don't think people realize just how much it is a business, just how much is involved with that. In addition to the ticket sales, that's only one aspect of it.
You've
But
got licensing, apparel. You've got,
there's more to it than we know, I think.
you got scholarships. How are we raising those dollars? You got, the philanthropic side of it, where you're talking about endowments and fundraising and so many things and so many mechanisms, and so many people can be involved in setting young people up for success. And that's what it's really about. Is
Right.
we're in a baseball campaign right now at Kennesaw State,
Okay.
where we've got great facilities here.
Mhm.
But the more it's an arms race in athletics. So the recruitment, there is a gap in recruitment if you don't have the best facilities.
Right.
And so there's so much that has to happen. And that's really why Kennesaw hired me, is because I understood the big picture.
Mhm.
And the athletic director, Milton Overton, who's been here for about 4 years now, he's got to go and do that external work, and someone's got to run the day-to-day of it and
Mhm.
communicate with him at that level to help
Right.
him,
Mhm.
understand other ways and opportunities to do it. Because I've sat in the seat, I've done it before, and so I can share
Yes.
insights and things. And that's been a beautiful, collaboration to
Mhm.
be involved in. I had that same opportunity when I was at the University of Texas, San Antonio. I
Okay.
They recruited me from Clark Atlanta, where I was the athletic director at a Division II.
Uh,
And I supported the athletic director, Lynn Hickey, who's one of my favorite people and mentors to this day. She's at Eastern Washington. But, Lynn and I would have conversations that nobody else in the department could have, because I had sat in the seat.
yeah.
And it helped me grow, and it helped her grow as well. So I get a chance to do that again at Kennesaw, um, with my current supervisor, and to make sure that we are setting our student athletes up for academic success. We're setting them up for career readiness. We're setting our coaches up for a culture of championships. We just won our ASUN indoor women's track team just won the championship this
Woo.
last week. Um, we have a championship volleyball program that is going for its, I think, third ASUN
Oh
championship.
my
They're like
goodness.
back-to-back champions right now. Um,
Oh,
and the fun part of being at Kennesaw is I've got one more sport added to my portfolio I haven't had yet, and
uh,
that's women's lacrosse. So
okay.
I have not been in an institution that's had lacrosse, but all of these are opportunities for people to invest in champions, invest in young people, and who wouldn't want to, do that? And that's real business that we have to attend to every day to make sure that they have the academic support that they need. They're traveling a lot, making sure that we're traveling them with the best care, especially during COVID. We're testing our student athletes 2 and 3 times a week. That costs.
Wow.
Um,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
there's character development pieces. There's health and wellness that is involved, not just for them to be ready for sport, but for them
Right.
to be ready when they graduate in 4 years, to be ready for life. So,
Yeah.
who wouldn't want to do a job like this?
It's you know what it's I'm listening to you because I was a student athlete just a few years ago. No.
That's all right.
I remember, if I remember correctly, I don't remember all of the things you're saying. I don't know that it was at that. No, I'm not kidding. I
No,
remember going
when
to
I, look, when I
going
was
to
when I
class.
was a student athlete in the '90s, I didn't know all this operation was going on either.
Me, I went to class and went to practice and went to games.
Hmm.
And then we traveled. We did travel. I was really blessed to travel, but all the things you're saying, no. So things have changed. Let me say that, and people recognize what you're really doing is molding a whole person. It's
The
not
whole
just about
person.
the person,
That's right.
about their ability to play. That's only one aspect of them. There's
That's
more.
right. That's the physical aspect, but you got the mental, you got the heart and the emotional, Part of our student athletes, you have to take care of. You think about this, and I've been in that seat, and you have too. You think about a parent giving their daughters and sons over to you for 4 years.
Yeah.
The promise that we give to them is that we're going to take care of them. We're going to make sure they earn their degree. They're going to have the time in their life playing the sport that they love. And we're going to send them back better than they came. And we're setting them up to live, and we set them up to live a life without us hovering over them as, administrators, parents, coaches someday. Now, that's what my mom told me when I left for college. And that's what I tell the young people today that I get a chance to lead, is that, my job, I got a chance to meet the track team today for the first time. So I'm meeting each team as I go. For the first time, I met the track team, and I told them who I was. They just smiled at me, and I said, "Look, all you need to know about me is not my title, none of that stuff. You need to know I am here to set you up for success. So wherever there's a gap in your life, come see me. Your coaches got the athletic side, your academic counselors got your academic side, all the other stuff that you're trying to figure out in life. Come see me."
But just
I've been there, done that. I can help you.
That is just hearing that, just hearing those words. Do you know what that? Because let's say they never come see you. That's not the issue. They know they can.
That's right.
There's someone there. They know that there's someone that reached out to them and said, and I'll be honest, there may have been someone there when I was there, but I just didn't know that they were there, and I didn't know that I probably could have gone to them if there was a need.
Yep. Our student athletes' well-being is our top priority. It's no doubt about it. We are student-centered, student-driven. If it doesn't line up to how we're going to get them to where we're trying to get them to go, not likely going to be a priority for us. So it is a beautiful opportunity to invest in people.
It is. I'm just. I coached one time, and that was I coached the girls basketball team years ago. So I don't even want to tell you how long ago. And I remember thinking that I said, "No, I don't think you better coach." I became a teacher because this is what I learned about coaching. Coaching is not just on that court. That's what I realized.
Not at all.
That's why I'm telling you. That's why I said I knew that wasn't my calling.
Yep.
And it wasn't anything against it, but I said, you don't realize I would be on the phone with them. They would be crying when the boyfriend broke up with them.
All of that. Yes.
And then some. And when I came to the reality, it's not just here. This is not it.
That's right. No.
If you think this is it, you don't need to coach.
Nope.
That's what I learned from that. So your commitment, I already know. They could never pay you. They can never pay you for the hours that you commit to what you do.
24/7 or 25/8, whichever, whatever they need.
Oh,
I usually give my cell phone out. I have cards with my cell phone on it, number on it, just to make sure that anytime they need us, that they know that. And here, so at Riverside, I had about 70 people on my team. Here I've doubled that. So
really.
So they've got plenty of access to people that really care about them, and I'm so happy to be a part of a high performing team here at Kennesaw State. I mean, we've got people, doing, great work in a lot of great areas. I think about our academic center, our success center. We have this program called the Flight Plan, and that Flight Plan, we're owls. We're owls. We're owls. The Flight Plan is their program when they come in as a freshman, that we set them up from day one to graduate ready for the world.
Wow.
They can soar, find their wings, and go out and do great things. We pride ourselves in building young people, but also global leaders. And Kennesaw State does a great job of that.
That is excellent. That is excellent. And I don't want to sound like it was negative when I went. I'm just saying, because it wasn't. It was a very positive experience, and I thank God for it, really. In fact, the very first time I ever flew on a plane was because I was traveling with the team.
Yeah.
I was traveling with the team.
Still today. Our student athletes feel that way. Some of them have, for the first time, they fly. Our women's basketball team here at Kennesaw went to Italy last year. First time many of them went out the country. So these are impressionable times for 18 to 22-year-olds. It is really impactful times. We have to be very careful and conscious and connected with them to impart the things that they really need us to impart in them during this window. And 4 or 5 years is not a long time. It seems like it when you start thinking about it, but that time flies so fast. But when you see them cross the stage, you see them win the championship, you see them out at the grocery store and with their families. I mean, it's hard work. It's hard work. HARD work.
It is. But you know, it's fulfilling work.
It's heart work. HART.
And you know, they would because I look, because this is what I say about athletics. It really, no doubt, has affected me as in leadership, because you learn so much about who you are
First,
and that competitiveness. I don't think that competitive. I don't have to think. It's never left me.
no,
I'm still competitive to this, even though I'm not on the field. I'm not. I don't play volleyball every now and then, basketball, but that competitiveness is still in me. I still want to win, but but you don't. But you know too, it's not just winning; it's how you win.
the approach,
All of those things still matter.
all of it, the approach, the preparation. You know, what do you do when you don't fail? You know, you fail forward. My grandma would say, you fail forward. That means you're still making progress because you learn from all those things. All of those things are what you learn as a student athlete. And you think about the competitiveness, and during this COVID era, you think about the thousands of young people that had to pause. So I was on the women's basketball committee during the March pause. We were headed to Indianapolis to start doing the selections and get ready for the Final Four, the bracketing of the 64 field. And I didn't take that trip because I didn't know enough about what was going on with COVID. And I have a 17 and 13-year-old at home that I just didn't feel comfortable flying out of the city and may not be able to get back to them for some reason that, I'm living through with my children, the first pandemic of my lifetime, right? So, and that was before we knew a lot was going on with it. But you think about them pausing, the student athletes, 18 to 22-year-olds pausing what they've done all of their lives. You're talking about how you remember when you was a student athlete. I'm talking about how I transformed as a student athlete. You think about these 18 to 22-year-olds having to just stop their lives and wait for us adults to figure this thing out, right?
Right.
And they're waiting. They just nudging. I mean, I don't know if the student athletes were worse off or the coaches I was leading were worse off at Riverside, because we were like, we got to get back to business. Like this. So, but to see them now, having come through that, doing it safely, you're seeing the cases are going down. People are being responsible in every space that I'm in. That's a part of the grit of student athletes and the perseverance of athletics. And like, we will not be denied an opportunity. We will have to push forward. How do we it's not, can we do something? It's how do we do it? And so I think all of that comes from, some of those attributes that you learn from being a student athlete. I'll tell you, one of my mottos that I learned at Clark Atlanta University was find a way or make one.
I like that.
That's the university motto. That's the university motto. And I'm telling you, I've taken it everywhere I've been. Find a way or make one. You got some that say no. They so used to saying no, they just trying to find the no.
Oh no, I got
it. You got that side like me that are trying to find the yes. There may be a no, but don't tell me no before you put the work in to find the yes. And I just want to put a shout out to all the people, all the universities, all the campuses, all the conferences, all the presidents and chancellors and administrators and coaches and student athletes, that governors, that have found the way and made one during this global pandemic to get these young people, round of applause, to get these
Yes.
people back doing what they love. I've seen them trying to find themselves, reinvent themselves. Some of the people that have really just kind of turned left instead of pivoted right with everybody else have
Uh-huh.
been people that all they knew was sport and that's it.
Right.
But people that I was leading at Riverside, those young people, those coaches, those staff, those administrators, from the president's office, the cabinet, those people were trying to find a way to make one safely. We were trying to follow protocols, but they were trying to make sure that primarily that we could academically get what we needed to get done. I have a good girlfriend, Jennifer Brown. Dr. Brown was very instrumental in getting our whole campus at Riverside online.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, phenomenal work. I mean, to understand what happened to make all that happen in the middle. I mean, and asynchronized and synchronized classes, like
I can't even imagine. I
can you
can't.
imagine? And we just like clockwork. I mean, people don't know what the stress levels and the curiosity and you know the mind set had to get through that. And then I come to a place like Kennesaw State, same thing. They needed me just as much as I needed them during this season. Because we've got 18 sports going right now.
I can't even imagine that.
They needed one more body to put in there that knew enough about what was going in athletics to keep this well-oiled machine going. And when I tell you, Kennesaw State is a very dynamic community, state, revered university. That, we have so much support, and our campus, our president, Dr. Witten, has such a great big vision for this campus. Like, can you imagine the 18 to 22-year-old, 40,000 students on this campus?
Oh my goodness.
Sitting and waiting for us to figure out if we're going to have classes, if we're going to have sports. And
oh my gosh. Because I think what you see our 28,000? You see
about 25.
25,000. Well, I would say they're basically little cities. That's what they are.
Definitely.
Because I saw the projection, I think for 30 to 35,000 at UC Riverside. It was something I was reading.
Yeah, that's the strategic goal. Yep, it is growing and it's thriving. And for many of these institutions, especially mid majors, these times make or break you. You see real leadership during these times.
Yeah.
When I interviewed with President Witten here at Kennesaw State and Milton Overhead, the athletic director here, and his team, I could see that they were rolling. They were trying to figure it out. Like, who else can we hire to be on this team, because we got stuff to do. And
they knew what they were looking for too. They didn't just go they were looking for your dynamics and your personality, because as you know, you're with people. I mean, if that personality isn't clicking, it's not gonna work. It is not gonna work.
It's a fit. I hate that word, but it's called a fit.
I'm out of the loop. It's called the fit, huh?
It's called the fit, but
because you're with each other too much. That's why you call it family.
It's
as much as you're with your own family.
Listen, Mary, we're hosting the ASUN women's basketball tournament this week. I will be with my 140 teammates every day.
Yep.
On the most dynamic conference tournament that we can put on, our first time hosting it. And we're hosting the volleyball tournament in a couple of weeks. We're hosting the softball tournament for our conference championships, and we're hosting the women's soccer championships. So when I tell you Kennesaw State is positioning itself to not just be the community school, community institution.
No.
In Riverside, we always talked about UCR and this other institution, I won't ever call their names.
Okay.
It was just a rivalry all the time, all the time. And,
Okay.
and and I don't know who's up on the ball games, but you know we were doing really well there for a minute.
Okay. Got you.
Here,
Got you.
here in Kennesaw, here in Georgia, I mean, Kennesaw is a part of the Georgia system,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the Georgia States, Georgia Techs, Georgia Southerns, you know. But if you, I got off the airport coming to my new job,
Mm-hmm.
and in the Atlanta airport, you know how many millions of people come through the Atlanta airport?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? The first branding I saw.
Kennesaw on the wall. Because you know why? I said I was just there not too long ago.
Kennesaw State.
I
Find
saw
your
it.
wings. Find your wings. And I'm telling you, our president and our athletic director and this community is proud of this university. It is growing, and it is very dynamic and high research. I've got family that have come through and graduated from Kennesaw, and to be able to come back home to an institution like this that I've watched from a distance and marveled at,
Right, right, right.
is really a blessing. I've got a statement that I've been saying ever since they made the offer to me to be a part of their team, and that is, God is faithful, and I am grateful, because I can't take no
Oh,
credit for the season that I'm in right now, where people are laying off people are losing their opportunities, and businesses are going, you know, to shambles because they can't open safely and do all these things, and I get a chance to you know, relocate and get to a place where they want me and need me to be a part of what they're building. I can't take all the credit for that. I've worked really hard to be where I am. I've had a lot of great people around me setting me up for success. And if I can just set the people up that I am in the sphere of now at Kennesaw, the owls, I'll sleep good at night.
I like that with the circle like this. Is that?
I love it. I love it. So my
Oh,
student athletes coming off the coach or off the courts, and my coaches coming up to me, I just be like, they're like, she the new person on the staff. She got her badge and stuff still on.
I love it. I love it. Well, like I said, it's really now. You know, I know many of the athletes are going to come through. Some are going to go on and become professionals.
That's right.
Do you help them maneuver in that world? Because now we're in a whole nother dynamic that
Absolutely.
some are ready for, some are not ready for.
That's
So
right. So
I
we
know that it has to
so
take.
so it's very important that we deal with this. Is what we call our flight plan. Our flight plan here at Kennesaw State. We have it all mapped out. That's the career readiness side. Some are going to go pro in,
Right.
in their business, in their education field, and sports management, law, doctors. You know, we've got it all here at Kennesaw. And some are going to continue in sport.
Right.
And so right now the NCAA has legislation out, with the name, image, and likeness, which is really a big deal because it's allowing the student athletes to get paid for their name, their image use, their likeness.
That's big. I didn't know because before you. I don't think you could get that.
Could
This
not,
this is
could
new.
not.
Isn't it?
It is new. It is cutting edge. It is
It
really changing the
is.
game, and it is really getting students to start thinking about themselves in a more business perspective. And I think that's going to help them prepare for their professional lives, because one thing that I know about, you know, and I've got a lot of student athletes that have gone professional, whether it's overseas or you know, in the states in sports, but they've got to have good people around them. The character has to be developed. That's our responsibility while they're in
Yes.
college 4 years.
Yes. Yes.
Then they've got to have their executive team. And as a professional, I have my own executive team. My mom is one person on the team. I've got 3 kids, but you know, that's for another session. But
Right.
they need to get their executive team that will help manage their business,
Yeah.
you know, and then they can probably transition from the student athlete to the professional pretty
Right.
seamless, because they'll just think about the sport, taking care of their body, getting the rest they need, the nutrition and all that type of thing, while they have someone that's handling their business. But if they don't have a vision for their business, like the investment. So in our flight plan, we do have, financial literacy, courses. We bring in different speakers to talk about, different things that may trip them up, the hurdles that they may see
Yeah.
as professionals. And that's very, very important, to be able to make sure that we're sending them out well developed and prepared for anything that may come to them. I mean, just negotiating that first contract is a
Yeah.
big deal, because if you don't get that first one right, the ones to follow, or the time that you even competing and doing, and that's no different from business. I mean, as an athletic director, I remember doing my first contract, and that was at Clark Atlanta, and I was pretty much, the president gave me an offer, and it looked good to me.
I know what you mean.
So
Did you run it by somebody though? You let someone else look at
I did. I let somebody look at it, but it wasn't going to be a whole lot they could tell me at that time. It was like, it looked good to me. It was the salary of the person that was sitting in the seat before. So I'm taking their responsibilities. That looks fair to me.
Right.
I was done with it. But as I proceeded to my second athletic director's contract, which was with the University of California, Riverside, there was a lot of thought and a lot of detail and a lot of eyeballs on that contract. I had to bring in my good agent friend to take a look at it, because it was a real commitment, and it was a commitment two-way. And the president, had committed to me. And I had to make sure that he understood the value that he may not have known, because I wasn't from that region. I wasn't like anybody else that he would have ever had an opportunity to hire. I had already sat in the seat and done the work.
Right.
There was a bold vision, a lot of metrics that I know that we wanted to, as a team, as teammates, he and I, to achieve. And so we had to lay it out. And that was a lot different from the Clark Atlanta days and the Riverside days. And so as student athletes, we have to prepare them too, to be able to know the difference and know how to be able to do that, so they don't get into things and then, not happy about it once they get into it.
Right.
Because
Because like you said, you see all those zeros, it looks one way. But like you said, the second time, now, number one, you had experience. You had the thing you didn't have going in, and you knew what that job entailed. There was before you were kind of going in and kind of figuring it out. Now you know. So you have a whole different way of looking at this.
Different value proposition at that point, right?
Oh, I tell you, but I think a lot of young people don't realize the value of you do need you. I'll use LeBron James as an example. To me,
yes,
he has his. I don't know what to call the group of young men that went through high school with him. And
his best friends,
and they're still, but they're there for different reasons.
That's right. They're business partners.
They're his business. They're one.
You trust them.
They make sure he's taken care of.
They know what he's already wanting and seeing for himself in his future. Yeah, so they can speak for him.
What I like about that, he doesn't have to worry about it, because they have his back and he has their back.
That's right.
And that core group, like you said, you mentioned that
executive team.
You gotta have it.
You gotta have it.
And they surround you with that love and that support, and they're willing to tell you the truth.
You now, that's a whole nother conversation. If you got people that are not willing to tell you the truth, you on a fast track, probably in the wrong direction at some point. And let me tell you, this is one of the things that I really admire about my supervisor right now. And let me just back up. Okay. Since we're on a Riverside show, my supervisor at Riverside, Dr. Kim Wilcox, I just admired our relationship, because he let me show up fully who I was every day. And I would talk to him just like I'm talking to you about the business of UCR athletics. And he would give me the good, bad, and indifferent about what his expectations were of me in the program. And I needed to line up and get it done. And it was such a beautiful relationship, because I trusted him because of the way he dealt with me on a daily basis, as well as his cabinet, his leadership team.
Right.
I tried to build that same trust in my athletic department, mirroring what I saw him do
Right.
as a
Right.
leader, and was able to do that. And I'm very proud of the team that, unfortunately, I had to leave there, but they're rolling. They still pushing, pushing it up. They still pushing it up the Highlander Mountain. Um,
Mhm.
and coming to Kennesaw, that is what the athletic director had to make a decision on to hire me. Is
Mhm.
is this somebody that I can trust?
Yeah.
Does this person, know what my vision is and can help me move this bold vision forward?
Mhm.
And, there's a lot of confidence that has to be in a person to do that. And there's a lot of egos that have to get set to the side every day.
That's right.
But that is exactly where the magic is made. I'm telling you, we could have not been successful at Riverside if
Mhm.
they didn't let Tamica Smith Jones show up fully who I was, with the experiences that I had from one coast to the other, to
Right.
help us get better in ways that we had never been great, necessarily before. Just a different perspective of that, right?
Right.
And here at Kennesaw, I get to do the same thing, because all of us, our gift make room for us. All of us,
That's true. That's
all of
true.
us I'm not perfect in a whole lot of things, but what I'm good at, like, you gotta allow me to be good at that and do
Mhm.
that. And
Right.
and everything and everyone else find their lane to be
Right.
good at. And I always say, when I'm recruiting people and hiring people, I'm hiring experts, and I hire my weaknesses. So the
Right.
things that I'm good at, I don't need to hire somebody that's going to help me say the same things that I'm going to say. I want to hire somebody that's going to help me think on a side that I'm not necessarily going to show strength on that side. I
Right.
learned that from my mom.
But it's true. They
I
say
learned that
that's
from
what
my mom.
they say. You
And that's
hire
how you
them.
get high performing teams. And that's the team that LeBron has around him. That's the team that student athletes that graduate from Kennesaw and elsewhere have to be identifying every day. We're on their team right now as
Right.
administrators.
Right.
I know sometimes they look at it and think, I'm doing for coach. I'm doing for them. No, 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 no. I always remind them,
In other words, I work for you. That's
I
what
work for you. I work for you.
I
If,
like
if
that.
it's not for you, eh, eh, I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
So if we
That's
can get
right.
our student athletes to think like that, um, they would be that much more dynamic, understanding all the resources that they have. You think about our athletic trainers taking care of their bodies,
Mhm.
nutritionists, strength and conditioning coaches. Like they have an executive team set up around them already in college. But how is that going to look when they graduate? Do they just leave that team and don't
Mhm.
identify others to support them? They
No,
got to identify others to support them. If you got LeBron James,
yeah,
can you
you
really
do.
support them?
So what you're really saying is the athletes have it, but they may not actually know that's what they have. Because I remember going in and being, getting your ankles taped by the athletic, and you're talking to. It's not like you're there and you're not. You're talking and interacting with all of the people there, whether it's the assistant coach, whether it's like I said, the trainers. You're
Mhm.
still talking and interacting with them, and they were encouraged. Oh, you're going to have a good game tonight. You're getting all of this coming into your psyche before you even got on the court.
That's right.
And it was always positive. And even when we lost, they were always there to say, that's all right. Don't
Yeah,
worry about, and all of that matters.
it
All of
matters.
that
It
made a
matters.
big difference. So I
And
tell you.
I don't know if we do I know the environments that I've been in that we do a lot of it, but I don't know in like the high schools or the travel teams, we do enough of the building of the person up, the student athletes up, to be able to help them not be so intense or so stressed about the sport and the performance part, the
Mhm.
academic performance, the athletic performance. I think they've got to be able to balance themselves
You
out.
do. You
Yep,
do.
everything
You
in moderation.
You do, because they would give, we would get awards if you were on the honor roll. At the, because during the season it is intense. So really, all I remember having time to do was literally go to class,
That's
go
it.
to practice.
That's it.
I'm serious. That was it. There was no dating or anything in there. It
That's
was
it.
this was your life.
That's it.
This is how you're and go to your games.
That's right.
There was no time for anything else because you're just focused. And but at the same time, it's so much fun. I
It
tell
is.
anybody,
It is so much fun.
it is so much
And
fun.
I tell people all the time, it's made a great life for me and my kids, to be able to take my kids back on, college campuses and grow them up on college campuses. I've been at 5 college campuses since my first child was born in 2003. And he's going back to the college campus that I was on when he was born, Clark Atlanta. That's where he's planning to go off to college. My daughter, she's watched me watch basketball games and talk about the Ivy League because that's one of the leagues that I was monitoring when I was on the women's basketball committee. And she talks about, now, are there Ivy Leagues in Florida? Because I want to go to school in Florida. I'm like, baby, not in Florida, but there are some good institutions in Florida. But to just hear her understand, the opportunities that she has, and it's priceless. And so I think as administrators, as the mature adults, because our college young people are adults already, we have to help them translate it. We have to help them connect the dots. And that's what I love to do for them, is to say, I know you may be experiencing this, or you see this, or you feel this, but think about it this way. When I was your age, this is what was happening. Look, 4 or 5 years, in the future, what would that matter? Okay, you need to talk to your coach about something. Let me help you with your tone and your approach. Oh, it's serious business.
It is good. It is. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing because I know the need is great, because they don't even know. They don't understand, because they think the way that they can talk any kind of way. And it's
no.
That, like you said, you're teaching them. It may not be in a classroom, but you're teaching them that, you know what, this is how you approach people. You don't approach people any kind of way and with an attitude, or make sure you don't have something going on with you and you're taking it out on somebody else.
That's right.
We're
preparing champions for life. We're preparing champions for life. And I'll tell you, every experience that I've had as an 18 to 22-year-old, I share them openly as much that would edify and help move them forward. I share with our student athletes because I think it's important for them to understand how relatable you are, that they're not alone, that you have similar experiences. We're more alike than we're different. Embrace your difference. All of that is important. I think about, when I transferred in college, getting a chance to transfer to an institution that had the sorority that I wanted to be a part of. And that's a long story, and most of it is positive and good. My sorority sisters are celebrating our anniversary this weekend, so that's top of mind right now.
Okay.
Delta at Alabama A&M in Huntsville, spring of '97. They called me Pippi. That was my line name. But look, that's not what I'm trying to get to. I'm getting off base here. I'm trying to get to the point of, I have student athletes that come to me because they know I'm Greek, to say, I know my coach don't want me to pledge. How do I have this conversation? I want to be a part of this fraternity or sorority. It could be a business fraternity or sorority.
Right.
And to help coach them through that, to help them with their approach and how they have that conversation with their coaches.
Yes.
I it's priceless. I'm like, and I have to go behind the scene a little bit and say, coach, think about it this way. They're gonna bring more people out to the game because they're on their team. They're gonna make so many business connections for their future. It's not just about the sport and what you're trying to do with them right now. They're trying to set themselves up for success for the future. They become a part of this organization. That means they have a built-in network of people across this world. Like, you're not trying to take that from them, right? No coach is ever trying to do that.
Oh, and no coach is ever going to deny. They're not going to say no to that. How can you say no to that? Especially number one, they're doing something positive.
Yes.
When you have that right there, that's what isn't that what we want for all kids? Just do something positive with their life, and they're trying to do that. And
But
so,
it comes with experience, having sat in the coach's seat before. I come to my job every day with a level of empathy, saying, okay, if I'm talking to a student athlete, what was Tamica thinking at 18 to 22 years old? If I'm talking to a coach, what was Coach Tam thinking at 25 to 30 years old? If I'm
yeah.
talking to an administrator,
All these different hats. But at least you can wear them. You've worn every single one, so you know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, their reasons behind what they're.
most of the time, Mary, it's just having somebody to sit down and take the time to listen to you. And I try to do that for my coaches and staff and student athletes too. You know, sometimes once they hear themselves say it,
Yeah.
they'll rethink their thoughts and decisions about it. And sometimes I just ask them questions when they're saying whatever they're saying. I may ask a question that would prompt them to make a different decision than they would have made if they hadn't come to sit down with me. All of it is relevant. All of it is relevant. And to be on a college campus is such a dynamic organization.
It is.
It's such a dynamic organization. There's so much opportunity for growth if that's what you're trying to do. You can go
Right.
silo and get boxed in and sit in your office space and don't grow. Keep doing your job that you've been paid to do. But you've got so many opportunities to just branch out and explore and find the new you every day and advance and progress. And I think that's a part of my job as well, is being able to help, people find their wings. Find their wings. Because guess what? The same person that comes to you in their performance evaluation and review in 2021 shouldn't be the same person that comes to you in their performance evaluation in 2022. Like, people should be growing, and we've got to find opportunities for them to grow. And so one of our key pillars at Kennesaw State is growth. We want to grow everything. We grow in people. We want to grow our resources. We want to grow our facilities.
Wow. That's it. I tell you, in other words,
like that.
You're not going to stay stagnant. That's not the key.
No.
Definitely. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you how long ago I went to UCR. When I went to UCR, the student population was 5,000.
Unbelievable. I saw the pictures. I think I've seen some pictures about the time you might have been there, and it was just all orange fields.
Yep, 5,000.
Two buildings. I think
it was
one. Athletics administrative building.
It was, and it was long before the new gym and all that. It was when there was one gym, and we had to rotate. That's how long ago it was. We had to rotate between the women and men's sports. It seemed to me we always got the short end of that stick, but that's another whole conversation. But but we were small.
Yeah.
And so we worked, and like you said, now it's a D1. It's like, it's hard for me to even believe that. But it's because of the work of people like yourself that have made UCR what it is. And it's become a powerhouse. But it didn't happen overnight. It did not happen overnight.
It didn't.
So I know too. But do you have any final words before we end today, for whether they're an athlete or whatever they want to do in life? What would you like to leave them with?
First of all, I just want to thank you, Mary, for giving me the opportunity, especially to speak on your show, but also to speak to the Riverside community, beloved community, forever dear to my heart. And for any student athletes or aspiring athletic administrators, if you ever want to be in athletic administration, I would say, reach out to me at Kennesaw State University. I'll help you find your wings.
We would like to thank you for being on here, Tamica Smith-Jones. We're so proud of you. Riverside misses you, but at the same time, understand that you've gone on. You're growing. You're constantly, going to bigger and better things. But we're looking for. We just can't see what you're going to do next. So congratulations on your new position. Thank you for being on the show, and we do hope that you come back in the future.
Anytime. I look forward to visiting Riverside again real soon. Good
Oh,
luck to the men and women's basketball team in the tournament in Vegas.
oh my goodness! I tell you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have had the honor and the privilege of being with dear friend of UC Riverside and Riverside community. We know that right now you've had a chance to visit with us. We hope that you come back next Monday. We will have another special guest for you to spend some time with. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming today. Have a pleasant day, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye.